Welcome to the show. I like to welcome you to me.
Here we go, people.
Haha. Another day, another day.
Another day, another day. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Living Room TRT, live from the living room. I am your host, Big Man, along with my homeboy.
Haha, this is Tone.
We in his house. People, tonight we got a good one. So we decided to turn on the cameras. We didn't want to go live. We're just going to go on Longfellow Radio and for those who watch the video. Tonight we're talking about the word sovereign. For those who don't know what sovereign is simply, let me get it right. Let me look up my notes. I had it here. Hold on. Sovereign is simply a matter of state of owning. Hold on. Let me get it right now. Hold on now. Hold on. Sovereign is a word that's borrowed from the French. Let me get this together, which means head of municipal government, head of, it's just the top, the whole part. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Sovereign just means.
I got you back.
All right, go ahead. Explain it to me. I'm sorry, because I wasn't prepared.
Well, sovereign is a specific definition. It's, as he said on the top, it's actually the supreme ruler of whatever the entity is, especially at monarch. The word sovereign is brought from the Old French.
Sovereign.
As sovereign, which is ultimately derived from the Latin.
Okay.
Sovereignty is the full right and power of a governing body over itself without any interference from government.
Sovereignty is a big word. Okay, so now that we got that straight about sovereign, we wanted to get in tonight. We wanted to talk about the sovereign citizen versus the United States citizen. And it's a big difference. And the reason why I brought it up, I was watching a documentary. And I brought it to Tone, and I said, Tone, I was watching this documentary. And this documentary, they was talking about sovereign, about people actually owning their own without the government intervening or anything like that. Now, of all the times of me going to Catholic schools and everything like that, I never even heard of this word. This word is new to me, and I thought it was very interesting because it's a big difference from being a sovereign citizen and then being a citizen of the United States.
Big difference. Actually, when he brought it to my attention, it drew my attention like an NBA Finals game. I was stuck on it just to hear the explanation on the explanation on it.
Yeah, go ahead, speak on it, because it's a big word that it's not used in our classrooms. It doesn't really show any form of life or anything like that. But before I get into that, I want to read the opening line of the 14th Amendment. That's why this word is so important. So the opening line of the 14th Amendment reads, all persons born naturalized in the United States and subject to jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Now, basically, that means that wherever you're born at, you're a product of the state. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up on the 14th Amendment is because sovereign citizens don't even recognize this as being part of their criteria. To them, the Constitution shifted the nation from its original common law roots, which states rights to the federal corporation that legally enslaves everyone. And basically what that means is if you're a citizen of the United States, you belong to the federal corporation. Now, people don't even realize what the federal corporation is because we were, at the time, which I thought was beautiful, where we were fighting for our civil rights, which I think is very important under the federation, under the federal corporation. It's very important for us to have civil rights. But I wanted people to know the difference. And here's the reason why they use sovereign citizen. A sovereign citizen is a term used to refer to a political movement which grew out of belief in the government abuses of power. Members often refuse to hold Social Security cards, driver's license, avoid using zip codes. Various citizens believe that U.S. citizens are either Fourth Amendment citizens who are subject to the federal and state laws and taxes, or Sovereign citizens who are subject only to common law or constitutional law, or both, but are not bound to obey statutory law. No court has ever upheld these claims. Sovereign citizens may also be referred to as freemen or common law citizens. Hence, we have states still under the Commonwealth. And those states, if you don't know, are Virginia, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts.
Yes, sir.
So basically what I'm saying to you people, if you really tired of the government and
If you want to be free.
you want to be free, this is the things you got to do. You got to denounce yourself.
Yeah.
Basically,
I
that's
might
what
be
they
joking
say.
about it, but it's a serious thing. And from what I'm understanding from a little homework is that it's a serious process. Explain to them really what the process is to become a sovereign.
A sovereign citizen.
Yes.
In order to be, and you got to forgive us because the word is new to us, so once in a while you're going to hear us mispronounce the word, so please bear with us. The sovereign citizen, to become a sovereign citizen, you basically have to denounce yourself from the United States Federation, which means you have to give up everything that you signed under contract, which means your driver's license, your birth certificate, anything you sign under
Security
contract.
card.
Social security card, anything.
You can't have a credit card. You
Can't have a
credit
zip
card
code.
accounts.
None of that. And you know what's funny? I said, it's funny that a lot of people probably know that they can do it, but don't do it. And I think the reason why they don't do it is because they're used to the Federation. Everybody's used to the Federation.
I don't think a lot of people know that you can do that.
I think a lot of people do.
Okay.
I do believe that a lot of people do. I just believe that a lot of people can't live without the Federation. I believe if a lot of people were to give up a lot of things that they have and all their rights and everything they own to start a whole new life to become a sovereign citizen, it wouldn't work for them.
That's kind of living like Amish, isn't it?
Maybe
Because
yes
they
and
give
no.
up everything. Don't they give up on and their land is governed by themselves.
It is government, and I'm starting to realize why they chose Commonwealth states.
And
Yeah.
most of the one I know about that I passed through is Pennsylvania.
You're right, and it might
And
be
Virginia.
that way. Yeah, and it's rare because a lot of people visit Virginia, and Virginia to be a Commonwealth state and be govern itself like under Sovereign laws, but yet be one of the most racist states there could be right now. But yet they have the most bisexual
get what you're
children,
saying.
the most bisexual children
I don't
born.
know about that.
Yes, I mean
I
it's-
haven't checked on that.
I'm not saying that they have like they're leading the pack. I'm just saying that the diversity that surrounds the Constitution is ridiculous.
Okay.
And even though when we get a chance, I'm gonna separate a lot of things, even up to the fact of the civil what a civil
this
rights
goes
and
deep.
civil liberties.
So this is going to be like a what do you call
ongoing
them things
session.
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Where they have different.
A series.
Yeah.
A documentary.
It's going to be like a series. We're going to have to keep coming back because the information is broad.
It is broad.
And it's interesting to me. And if you have time, you can look it up. It's actually spelled Sovereign. And Google, as I say. It's a lot of times I say people ask questions, but they have smart and intelligent phones, but they don't use them. And the money that we pay for these phones, I think we should be using them a little more.
We should be using them a little more. I don't think people really think how serious this thing is. And the fact that I say that is because you got to think, it kind of changed the Declaration of Independence. They kind of changed the Constitution around a little bit. And a lot of people didn't see it because, what happened was if you had to free the slaves under the fact of they becoming how you pronounce it?
Severity?
Sovereign citizens.
Okay.
If they would have to come, if I won't pronounce the word right, forgive me. If they have to become sovereign citizens, that means that they would own part of the state. And I think the government couldn't allow that. So what they did was, in order to give the people opportunities to live from state to state free, was what they gave you was civil rights. So which means that you have the opportunity to travel wherever you want under the Federation where nobody can touch you. But it also gave them control of damn near everyone under the United States umbrella, which gave them the opportunity to govern their own. This is why they were able to divide and almost conquer the colored race. Because, they used that act, they called it so, something Mississippi Commission. Oh man, what is the word? I stumble on the word. We talking about it right now.
Sovereign.
The Sovereignty Commission Act of Mississippi.
Okay.
They tried to use that to really destroy the blacks within each other, around each other. You know, it was something that I thought was just incredible. That's what made me look into it.
Yeah, but what was so educational? It actually broadened my thought as far as those times, because it gave me an understanding of why a lot of people migrated to the United States to get out of certain sovereigns.
Yes. And they're making their way back. Sovereign states are coming back, people. Believe that. I'm telling you that. They're coming back. Sovereign states are definitely coming back. They are definitely going to make their way back into this world. That's going to be one of the scariest things to have a sovereign state. And I'm not going to say that it's wrong, and I'm not going to say it's right.
But they actually are states that we got an understanding of that try to be a sovereign state, but it's not here. It's like over across the world somewhere.
You think we'll ever have that on this side?
No. Pennsylvania and Virginia, they'll probably broaden, because that's where I guess you could say it's more accessible for someone who wants to do that. Because to do it and live here, it kind of wouldn't make sense from what I was explaining, what the transition would have to be. Because it's to you to continue to be sovereign, you would have to basically have to. And you said you got to get permission from the government.
I'm not
you
sure.
have to fill out applications.
I think you have to fill out an application. I think you basically what you have to do is first you have to denounce yourself, and then I think,
that's the word I was trying to get. Denounce.
And I think by denouncing yourself, you have to go, I guess, to your nearest state legislation office or whatever, so you're able to get a copy of the right papers, because you can get a certificate that says
stating that you're sovereign.
That you're a sovereign citizen of the state. You can get a certificate
that would
of something.
have to be something like if you got arrested, that you would present to the police and
Right.
listen, you can't treat me but a certain way, and I have documentation.
But the thing is, the only thing I'm not clear about, if you have to give up certain items, like how do you travel, how do you able to buy insurance, how are you able to do certain things if you don't really have the means of necessary or the social security number. So I'm curious on how this works.
Okay, why would you need a social security number for things such as, well, they have to know who you are? And
They
all
have
that.
to know who you are. I mean, on your certificate, it has to give you're a resident of the state, basically, right?
So that means you would still need, but what about a passport? You're right. I understand what you're saying. What if you got to
Right.
fly?
You got it. Which you got to have
Something
with some type of identification that lets them know. I don't know if you have to carry that certificate around with you at all times, because I have seen things on YouTube, and by the way, people who do this stuff is very educational. But I have seen things on YouTube where they show people who pulled over and who are sovereign citizens who actually present the paper, and I'm like,
I want
man,
to see that. You've seen a few?
I've seen it, but you know, videos like that don't stay up too long. But and it's funny.
Why is this something to be kept secret, like by the government or the state?
Okay.
Why is it something that's not like offered on part of a regular document of?
I think
signing up.
I think that's a very good question, and I got to answer it the best way I can answer it is because it's a $1 billion industry. It's a $1 billion corporation. So if you're able to control everybody under your monarchy. So the United States as a whole is a sovereign corporation, which means one person owns it. Whoever that person is, we don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No, because it's everything is government. It's not no one person.
No. You got to look at what sovereign means.
Oh, okay. You talking about as far as you're not even talking about just the United States. Then.
No.
Okay.
The United States is owned by someone. You have to understand it became a corporation because of the people we have in it. That's why they had to come up with the civil rights.
So you're telling me there is one person that
There's
owns.
one person, it's probably a family, who owns the whole United States. There's probably a family in
I
Great
gotta
Britain,
look that one up.
someone in China. It could be even somebody in Spain who
I gotta
owns,
do my homework on that
who
one.
who has their own. Because you got to look at it, and the reason why I say that is because you got to think. Look at the banks that they have. Each level is different. I can understand now why they got secret societies with all of this that I'm reading. I can understand.
Yeah, this offers a lot of knowledge to broaden your mind about a lot of things.
A lot of things.
That's beyond the general way that we live.
My question is, did you think Martin Luther King and Malcolm X knew about this? Would they have marched if they knew like how good the sovereign citizenship could be for black people to really own their own land? Do you think they would have pushed for that more instead of civil rights if they knew exactly what this was all about?
But as you said, we as a people, you said a lot of us probably know about this, so why wouldn't they know about it then?
Because I think to separate from the Federation, you would be afraid you're not getting anything. There are benefits from signing a contract, but
if you living in your own, I'm starting to understand that as far as Virginia and Pennsylvania, which we mentioned, that they have their own areas.
Yes, they do.
So you can open your business within your areas, sell to your people, that type of thing, because everybody got to eat. I don't care what you say. Everybody got to eat. You might have manufacturers that's sovereign.
Look, something went wrong because the sovereign state started in Virginia under the 13 colonies. Somewhere along that line, the people who signed that treaty thought about being in that federation was a lot more profitable. So you really are not going to be able to trace the people who own Rhode Island, who really own Massachusetts Bay, New Hampshire, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. These were sovereign states, and the only ones that kept their standard was you had Virginia, who stayed, Massachusetts stayed, but and who was the other one? Pennsylvania stayed, but then they added Kentucky.
Kentucky, that's what I was mentioning.
Yes, they added Kentucky. Why? And Kentucky might be a very racist state. But you won't add Texas. But in Texas, you're allowed to carry a gun on your head.
That's the wild, wild west.
Do you find that to be weird? Ralph, can you close the door? It's known that it's just weird. Like, if a person really would pay attention to how the Declaration is written, how the Constitution is written, how the 14th Amendment is written. The 14th Amendment is the most important thing, along with sovereign citizenship right now, to any person of color. Because it explains exactly who you are, what you are, and why you are put here. Make no mistake, people, we are all slaves under the umbrella of the Federation. And you know what? Some of us
Careful.
do. Well, you're right. Okay. All right. I'll back off that one.
I don't think I'm ready to make that transition.
I understand. I'll back off that one. All I'm saying is at this time, let's make no mistakes that, under this Constitution, we live by laws and regulations that are written by people who run it.
The knowledge is there, people.
It's there. You
The
just have to
education
read
is
it.
there to seek. I mean, it made me so intrigued just to know a little more, and more about truth.
It's scary.
The truth is there, but they're not gonna tell it to you.
Why would you? If you could, why should I tell you something that you can read about? The problem is we don't want to read. Like I said, a lot of people. You're not going to find certain things on the internet because anything inputted in the internet was inputted by man. So it's just like someone writing a book. As long as you keep inputting, everybody's going to have their own opinion, but there's always going to be something left out because it's something they don't want you to know. If people will go to their libraries, maybe sometimes you need to go to the Commerce Library and read about our history. I always tell people, go back to the days of the Knights of Templar. You have to go back to the times of monarchies and when you had czars and things like that. You're going to know, if you can really read and you can follow that, if you got the time to take, you're going to know exactly how all this works. The research is incredible, people. It is incredible. It made me put on my glasses.
That was a cool.
It made me put on my glasses. It's deep. Like right now, we got all computers running, so we don't miss anything.
Imagine this, wipe this away.
You know,
We'd be back on CB radios.
this thing is serious, people. I think I'm pointing this out because we have a lot of our activists who are out there who are pushing strong, and I love the fact that most of our activists stick up for our civil rights. But let's all educate ourselves on why we pushing for them civil rights. People just look at it like it's a movement. Like, I was watching this interview with my son, which I really want to get this guy up here and talk to him. I really like the way this guy, I emailed him and everything, but I guess he moves on his own time. I guess when the time is right, God gonna bring him to me, because he's having a thing, and I wish I could go this weekend. He's having a movement this weekend, and I think it's beautiful. I'm not sure exactly what it is, so I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I'm not sure exactly the location, because, when you're at work and you're trying to listen to something, you don't have the full attention. So, but I think this kid transformation of what he's trying to do, and I'm say kid, I forget, I'm sorry, Mr. Mason. This grown man, the transformation that he's trying to do, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think his movement and what he's trying to portray is beautiful. And it all leads to everything, even to the part up to the Hawk Newsom, who has his own movement, the Black Lives Matters, New York. All of this moves up into the movement, and I'm understanding now about when sovereign citizenship and citizens' right. I'm starting to understand a lot of things and why we have movements, and the reason why we have movements.
And not to shift it, and not to shift it at all.
Yes.
Speaking of movements, I would like to take a moment in the blessing that we gained respect to thank him, Nipsey Hussle,
Yes,
on the doors that he has opened, to something he has started. He really enlightened me, made my eyes open to a lot of things. I didn't know a lot about him, but when I followed up,
Into the things he was doing.
yeah, it was amazing.
Education is important within the city life, man. And I think a lot of us fail to realize that, because a lot of us are pushing so hard to be kings and queens that we forget the steps along the way that will make us kings and queens. It's not always being at the top. That's the glorification. I always hear Tone tell me, it's the ride. To take that ride, sometimes going through the motions of getting to the top, is a beautiful thing. And the young man did a beautiful thing. He had one of the biggest funerals I've ever seen in a while.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. So.
The President Obama sent in a letter.
But I don't want to.
It was really nice. I only seen parts of it because I was at work. I really wasn't supposed to be watching it, but I had to slide in and.
I don't want to say it's not. I mean, I love him, but I don't like to. I don't like to. Let the man rest in peace. So, getting back to what we're talking about now, people, I want you to understand why I really bring this. This is so important, because this is basically what the Civil War was about, and a lot of people misunderstand that the Civil War was about slavery. Okay, that might have been the cover-up for the Civil War, but no, the Civil War was about citizenship and states' ownership. And how you say sovereign? It was about sovereign states.
Sovereign states.
It was about sovereign states.
Sovereign is generally used in place of Grand Master, meaning supreme head of various orders in Europe nations.
That's right. So I wouldn't be surprised if the United States is owned by somebody in Great Britain. I'm really going to say that. I put that out there. I really believe that.
The Grand Master in style, sovereign Grand Master.
And I think we've taken a lot of time and we don't realize. Like, this is serious, people. This is serious stuff.
I would really want the younger people, because I wish I would have known this when I was younger. I might have made different directions in life.
The more I don't want people to be misled about the Civil War and anything else. Yes, slavery had a big part of the Civil War, but it wasn't the reason for the fight. It was about sovereign states, and they will never tell you that. For you to know that, and for that could change a lot of things. I don't want to get too deep because I don't.
think too many people would want to be. I mean, you don't got to adapt it to a certain life. People, I don't know.
That's what
a
I
lot of
said.
people do it.
I don't think a
but
lot
it's
of
an option.
But I think people, and I'm being honest, I think a lot of people who cry freedom off really afraid of freedom. If you knew that this what freedom was, I really believe people are afraid of freedom because I feel that if they move or they leave outside of that corporation, they wouldn't know what to do. And I
Well,
believe
you
when
got to
we
see what's there.
But my whole point is, like my son said it best.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yo, you already programmed at birth to rely on this corporation to take care of you. And you're taught that if you do this and you do that, if you do a certain thing at a certain age, that this is what you'll get out of it. This is what you're taught." I think the problem with the United States and everybody else who are part of the United States, I think they're upset because they don't get to get involved with a lot of that secret society stuff. And I think a lot of that is the gateway to what a lot of us would like to have and own. But my thing is, if you really want freedom, if you really think that's
There
the
it
best
is.
thing, that's it. You can become a sovereign citizen.
There it is.
That's your freedom.
There it is.
You can denounce the government, denounce the corporation, and you can move on. You can do what you need to
What if the
do.
government said no?
I don't know.
That's the question
That's why
I had. We was discussing it the other day.
Yes, it is. That's why
What if the government said, you know what, we're not even doing that.
we're gonna come
We're
back
not
with a
even
part two.
entertaining that.
We're gonna come back with a part two on it. Because you're right. We have to look up.
Because I would go to a courthouse and ask them, I would like documentation to denounce myself.
But what happens?
They'd be like, what?
You can't live in the United. I don't think you can live in New York State,
Right. I would probably have to go to Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, or Virginia.
So but you said it was related to what state I was born in.
Right. But see, that's the tricky part. That's why they signed the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
Because now
So
you
how
don't.
do we untricky it?
Because once you signed up, you have to denounce yourself.
I don't remember signing anything.
Yes, you did. You signed. Your mother signed for you when she signed the birth certificate. That was your first. That was your first signature in adoption and initiation into the corporation. And then from there, once you were able to sign your signature to anything, that's it. You got to think about the things you signed through your
I
lifetime.
understand.
School.
I'm talking about initially. I
I'm
couldn't
telling
sign
you.
what they put my footprint.
I'm telling you, hey man. If you notice that, why did it?
So do they give me back all my signatures
How
that I
come
signed
if-
if I
if-
denounce myself?
My thing is, before the 13th colony, how come they didn't have birth certificates? Before there were birth certificates, you were written in the book that you were born in this state. That's how they
And they just gave you something on a piece of paper
why
you
would they
carried
come
around
back?
with you.
No, they didn't.
That's how they look. That's how it was in the westerns.
No, that's what I'm trying to
They
tell
had
you.
a
That's TV.
documentation.
That's TV.
But it's like a birth certificate. They didn't have that.
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to explain it to you.
Go ahead.
I'm telling you that at the beginning, they didn't have birth certificate. You were written down in the baby logbook.
Okay.
The date you were born, the time you were born, and the state you were born in. That's what they did. All of a sudden now, they come along with a new program where they gave you a birth certificate. Why? Because now
They
you're
wanted to keep count.
because now you're a part of a corporation. And what does a corporation always got to make sure it got new workers? You're trained to make money for the government from the time you're born to the time you die. It costs you to come in and it costs you to leave. And then you got to always remember when you're dead, you still pay because even if you could collect your insurance policy, if you have one, you still got to pay out what's left of your debt.
So, and you also said you got to pay off, if you want to denounce yourself, you got to pay off any debt that you have, anything you could possibly
That's
owe.
what I said. So I guess the government has said, well, you know what? If you tell a person, okay, well, you owe us $90,000 and you can be free, how you gonna do that? Because by the time you paying off, the interest alone gonna keep you in the fucking hole. You might stay where you at.
If he said $90,000, if I just wrote a check, boom, I'm done.
Do you have $90,000 right now?
Why you don't tell my business?
I'm asking you. In fact, for a person to
Nah,
sit
I
there,
don't have that.
no, nobody got that. That's the
Some
truth.
people got $90,000 of access to it,
Not
or,
to be
got
free.
good enough credit.
Not to be free, because
Oh, you ain't got $90,000
See,
to
you
be
making
free.
a joke out of it, and I'm trying to be serious. Because if these people decide to sign over, what happens if you can no longer? You don't belong to any type of corporation. You can't put your money in a bank. So what you going to do? If you're a person who got $90,000, you got to be sitting on a lot of cash. But you going to bury it in your backyard, keep it in your house. Somebody know you got that kind of money, they going to come.
It's worth it for their freedom.
And you only eligible to the county, to the common law of the state. So that means you might be only eligible to go as far as the local police. After that, they don't help you. You're done.
So you ain't supposed to leave the state.
No, see,
If you leave the state and call the police, you
no,
say you can't
that
go to
means
the law.
that means you're not subject to any of the judicial system, which means you're only It says common law. What is common law? Common law is protection, which is police. That's what the state pays for. The highest thing the state pays for is the police. You don't get to go to court, so your judgment is right then and there from the police. It's common law. If I'm wrong, somebody will comment and they'll correct me. But this is not a game. This is serious. You know, I hear a lot of people say, no, they want to leave, they want to be free, and I get it, because if I'm a person who would like for my civil rights not to be violated either. So I'm definitely behind the people who do civil rights, but I'm just telling people it's more than just civil rights if you really want to be free. If you want to be free, it's more than just civil rights. And I'm being honest. You got to get into it. If you want it, you're going to have to do it. Man, we ain't
to
even
be sure you want to be free.
We ain't even take a commercial. Man, that's how deep that was. This is
It's
serious.
gonna get deeper. It's gonna get deeper. We're just on the surface.
This is
We
serious,
just on the
man.
surface. We're not talking about the migration to the United States yet.
Yeah.
This gonna be This gonna be a lesson for me just as well as for everybody
For
else.
everybody
I
else.
hope they learning something, because I definitely did.
It is time to wake up, people. You know, everybody, if we took the time to unite to do a lot of things, you would be surprised what we could accomplish. Man, and I'm learning how to do a lot of things because I watch the people on YouTube, whether good or bad. I think everybody reports. They do even if it's the silliest thing you ever do. The fact that it brings some type of knowledge to somebody. Keep doing what you're doing, but always be aware of what your rights are, what you have, why you have them, why this march takes place. You know, and I knew it. It hit me, Mr. Masson. Why he's having a rally. He kept saying that, and this was on the Breakfast Club. He kept saying that someone kept inboxing him about why they always do a march when the police kill people. They never do a march on when black on black.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what that is about. And I'm really excited about that because I'm one who always believed that too. Like we never really marched and on each other. Like I mean, I don't know.
When a cop kill a young black kid, we march.
Yeah.
When we kill each other, we don't march.
We don't march.
But they march after a few killings, because then they get march about stopping the violence.
They don't have march. They have visuals. It's a difference.
Okay, I think it was a little more than a visual.
They have visuals. Now you have some people who have protests, but I'm talking about the way they march for the civil rights. I think that would be a beautiful thing.
That's a little,
Yeah, it's different.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
Because we really do need to stop the violence. We need to wake ourselves up. We have an opportunity where if we really want to separate ourselves, we have to separate ourselves. You know, you don't have to hurt each other to separate yourself. All you have to do is go to the library and learn how you can ownership or take proprietorship in a lot of things that you do within the corporation, without the corporation. I mean, it's up to you. But we have to do something different, people. This is not working. What's happening right now to us is not working. We're picking off each other, and they're picking us off one by one. And who us is, I have no idea. But that us is a very big person. And it shows itself every once in a while.
Said that us is a very big person.
Yes, it is. And it shows itself every once in a while. That us is a dangerous thing because it can never be seen. You know? And that goes for us on both sides. It ain't just us on their side. That's us on both sides. I'm afraid of what the future holds. Whether I decide to stay, or whether I decide to go, I'm nervous.
But I hear you, but I'm not afraid for me.
No, I'm afraid of. I'm not even afraid for the next generation.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm just afraid of.
Because the youth is so out of hand.
Out of hand.
With mental health being so bad right now. Oh man, mental health is.
I hope this helps somebody. I hope this helps somebody to look and say, you know what, maybe we need to do things different. We're going to keep bringing this education.
I don't know if so.
A lot of people ain't going to like this.
I don't know if sovereign is can give any answers. I think it's more like just insight and education.
Yeah, but I think sovereign is a word that's the most powerful word in the dictionary because it explains the human being as a whole under the umbrella. And you have to pay attention to the umbrella that you're under. And I think sovereign definitely opens up that alleyway. And a lot of people don't pay attention to it because we're too busy slapping each other upside the head.
Oops, upside your head.
It's a serious word. You know, they don't even use it's the most important word in the dictionary, and you don't even hear it. But yet they try to use that to wipe out the whole Negro race at one time. I thought that, and that was the real reason. I'm saying I was watching that documentary. Boy, that boy, that Hoover boy, was something else there, man.
Wow.
But then you know it goes. It's deep, man. It goes deep in why you have the civil rights and why everything. I mean, it was spies within the spy. I mean, it's gonna get deep, people. We're gonna get deep with this thing. We're gonna get deep with this thing. I hope we can get guests and other people can join in and want to come on the show and talk with us about it. We need to get deep. This is not a history. This is not about pointing fingers. This is about knowing and understanding what we are doing and why we're here, who we are. The reason for us existing under the United States umbrella, of being a sovereign citizen or a United States citizen, having civil rights to civil liberties. It's a difference, people. We're going to separate that for y'all. Because it's a hard thing. There are lessons to be learned, and learning a lesson is never easy. Trust me on that.
Reading is fundamental.
It is fundamental.
It's supposed to be fun for your mental.
Shout out to Paulies, too. Wake and Bake Boys, Vanguard. Black Marvel Fam, Blue Eye Is. Miss Pratt, hello.
How you doing?
How you doing? To all my babies out there, Daddy love you. It's deep.
It's definitely deep.
And it's funny because I have children in the Commonwealth state who were actually born in the Commonwealth state, which is it's a beautiful thing. It
But
gives.
they're
Go ahead.
So what laws are they going by?
Both.
Okay.
They go by both common law, and I guess it turns into the constitutional law once you get to a certain degree, like if it's mass murder or something like that. But I guess the petty crimes they probably I don't know. But I
Guess
will
it's a
look into
certain
that.
level, yeah.
I will look into that definitely because that was a very good question. Oh man.
Know what their limits are and how far they can go.
And it's ridiculous too, man. But I think people really need to. This is something we should open your eyes to. Like,
Open
you
my
know,
eyes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I had my whole vision of the 13 colonies and everything was just wrong. Like, I just thought they just took from us because they wanted to. Not realizing that they had to devise the plan in order to make money off of everybody. And it just so happens to be that we were the lower class people who carried the brunt of the labor for the country, along with the immigrants who came over. Not realizing that the people who run the world are immigrants themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Because the United States Federation doesn't own itself. Someone owns it. And I wouldn't believe if it's the Pope.
Wow.
The church played a big part in monarchs and czars
Definitely.
back then because they were the one who were pointing them to the high seat. So how high is man, we're going to get deep with this, man. The priest is high. He high up there. I'm telling y'all, man, this church thing go
The
deep.
priest is so high, he has no need for money.
He has no need for money.
What he say
Come on,
he
man.
want, what he say he will have.
The Pope wear better shoes than the president.
Pope don't have to wear no shoes.
Come on,
'Cause
man.
They'll put cushion in front of every step he make.
He got a better car.
He got a car he can stand up and straight up.
Come on, man. Get with
And
this.
still look outside.
People ain't paying attention to nothing, man. All they doing is, man, come on. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on. Somebody told me don't follow the money because it could be dangerous. Shit, it's already dangerous. If you don't follow the money, you be ignorant. But he's right. He's definitely right. I mean, I ain't afraid. I'm just telling you, I'm not. God forgive me. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I should. Yeah, well, sometime I run off. It'll catch up.
He say some shit.
Yeah, well, I'm sipping on the Gingy and the Paulies tonight. So I'm bound to say anything.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mr. Monson General, we'd love to have you on the show. Hopefully you'll pay attention to this. If not, it's okay. One day. Until then, people, I'm Big Rand. You know my boy Tom Tom.
Woo woo!
Always in the house. Always a pleasure.
Have a good day, y'all. Have a good day. Have a good night.
Enjoy
your
your
life.
night.
God bless.
Mm-hmm. We'll be back with more. Trust me. We'll be back.
Live from the living room. Big Rand, Stone, Lord, gotta be live. Live from the living room. Big Rand, Stone, Lord, gotta be live. Live from